Okay, thank you. In this tutorial, I'm going to explain um QuickBook sales receipts. Um, sales is a very important part of every business. Whatever you do, it's always very vital that you have to keep track of your sales, because sales is all about recording money that comes in, either from the sales of your product or from the sales of your services. So it's very important that you have a system that keeps track of that. But in this particular section, we're going to discuss how QuickBooks Online basically can help you achieve that and all that. Now, in understanding your sales entry, there are certain things you need to be able to clarify, because most people, they try to group their sales together, and end of the day they end up not getting the actual reports that they need to take business decisions, or being able to see the trend of their sales and all that. So when you're making sales as a business owner, it's very important for you to differentiate your sales, so that when you are keying them into the system, you need to know which sales applies to a particular section and which other sales apply to the other section. Now the sections I'm talking about here are what we call the cash sale and the credit sales. Now when you make a sale on credit and you come into the system to record it as a sale without keeping track of how the system repeats your sales entry, you may end up entering that sales as a cash sales. Maybe it's a sales you made on credit, and when you send as a cash sales, system will take it as if you have paid in. But when you also record your cash sales in the system in a way that it's not supposed to be, system will also take it as a credit sales. So at that point, you need to be able to differentiate these two type of sales and how to keep track of that. Now in QuickBooks, either the desktop or the online, there are two sales transactions the system keeps. We have the invoice and the sales receipt. Now the invoice is used for a credit transaction, then the receipt is used for a cash transaction. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to explain how to key in our sales receipts. So when you go to your transactions, you click sales. Now under the new transaction here, you come here, you click sales receipts. Now you click sales receipts, the window will load. Now when you select sales receipt, you are actually telling the system that this is a cash transaction. That means the customer paid cash at the point of sales. So from this section here, you come here, you select the customer name that you're selling to. Then let's assume we have a new customer here that we actually set up. Now here you can select a new customer. Now in QuickBooks, when you have a list of items to select from and what you want to select is not there, you can always add new. So here you could select the list of any particular customer. So let's say Diego here. So in billing address, you can always enter the billing address, or at the point of setting up this customer, you have already entered this billing address. That's why it's coming up here. So you could see the email address of the customer, which means you can send this particular receipt via mail. Then we have the next one, which is the sales receipt date. Now you have to enter the sales date. That means the date the transaction was at, the date the transaction actually occurred. So you come and you select the sales date here. Now we have payment method. So customer could pay either by your cash, either by check, by visa card, or bank transfer. So whatever payment method they select here, if it's not here, you can always add new. So here we could come here and say bank transfer. Then you click save here. If you click save, system picks that. Then we have what we call our reference number. So reference number, you can always enter it here. Now because this is a cash sales, two things will likely happen. It's either you're paying the money into your bank directly, or you are actually keeping it as undeposited fund. Probably the sales was made during the weekend and banks didn't open during the weekend and all that. So that's where you do that. But if the customer is making bank transfer, that actually means that it's actually going to a particular bank. So that means you need to enter the bank here. So when you look at here, you see that we do not really have the name of the bank specifically. So we can come here and select add new. When you select add new, system will ask us to enter our bank. So account type, we select our bank. Then the name of the bank, that's a checking account. So what's the name of the bank specifically? So we could enter like let's say um Zenith Bank here. Zenith Bank. So at when we're setting up this bank, do we have any money? Yes, we can actually put the funds here. So you can enter it. This is an assumption. This is what we have. Then you come here, you click save and close. So that means you've actually added the bank and also the balance too. So the sales we're making here is actually going straight to the bank, or probably has been made into the bank. So which means whatever transactions we are going to enter here will be paid into Zenith Bank. So here we'll come here, we'll select the product that was sold. So you come here, you select from each of these items here. If it's concrete, we'll enter concrete here. The next one here, we'll select if it's design, we'll enter design here. So here you see the quantity of the concrete they are buying. You can always double click inside and enter your own quantity depending. So whatever rate the concrete is sold for, you enter. The system will multiply this quantity by this rate. That will give you the amount. If it's vatable, that is, if it's chargeable in order to tax, you can tick this and all that. So here when you come here, you're able to select the tax rate. If it's 8%, you select 8%. 8% multiplied by this and all that. So we could see the other design here. If the design is what 23,000, we'll enter it here too. So VAT will be multiplied on it. If there's any discount applied on that sales, you will come here and enter the discount here. So discount to be applied on that particular amount. You could see 0.1, which is 10% discount minus this and all that. So this will show you. You can see balance due 0 because this is a cash sales amount received here. So here you can enter the memo. You can make reoccurring. Making reoccurring means that if it's a reoccurring sales or reoccurring transaction, you don't have to enter this again. You can automate the entry. You can make the system to automatically enter this same transaction over and over again, depending on how many times you want the system to enter the transactions. So here you could see this is what we have here as our sales transaction. So this total here will be paid into this bank here. The reason it's being paid into this bank is because it's a cash sales. If it had been an invoice, a credit sales, you won't see any bank here. What we'll be saying is overdue. So once we're done, we'll come here, we'll click print and save. Sometimes they could say, oh, print and preview. When you click print or preview, then you can preview the sales invoice that we want to print out or that we are actually entering to the system here. So it's actually loading. So you could see this is our sales receipt from what we have entered so far on the system here. So that is just it. Design another 1000 Gs. You can see that. So here we can see the tax applied and we can see the discount applied on that particular sales. So you can always print this by clicking this. If you want to download this, you can always click here to download this sales receipt. You close it back and you come and you click save. When you click save, the transactions will be saved into the system and all that. So that's how to enter your sales transaction. So when you go down here, you see on the dashboard here that we have the sales to Diego, which is this. You can see the status here is showing paid. Why it's showing paid is because we actually entered it with receipt. So when you enter with sales receipt, the system assumes that it's a cash transaction. So you can see that the invoice is showing overdue. So if payment has been made on this particular invoice, it will show closed and all that. So that's how to enter your sales transaction